AEW Double or Nothing ended just in time for Dynamite. Like, literally, it feels like they just went off the air moments before Dynamite started. This was a marathon of a show that reeked of desperation and overwrought gimmicks. And AEW needs an intervention as much as they need time cues. Double or Nothing felt like WrestleMania 35. A big anniversary show with unforgettable moments like the first white women's WrestleMania main event and, more importantly, KofiMania. But Mania 35 was too long to appreciate any of the magic WWE created that night. It was also the last time WrestleMania was only one night. And even though Double or Nothing was technically a one-night show, it started on a Sunday and ended on a Monday in the East Coast. Yet somehow it still feels like it went 72 hours. Today, we're going to talk about AEW's cry for help of a pay-per-view, how their own stanbase is now turning against them for clicks, hilarious, why their Meltzarian booking continues to bite them in the ass, and even with the new TV deal in the works, why AEW is still a long way from its glory days in 2021, with no sign of resurgence. Subscribe or I'll sue you in Swahili. Just playing. AEW still sucks. But let's give credit where it's due, because AEW came out swinging at Double or Nothing. It's like they felt their backs against the wall. They saw their incel army turning those guns against them, and in response, they brought back Triple H. I'm sorry, MJF. Wrong initials. My bad, that was totally MJF, who walked out in Triple H's biker gear, and his return promo was so effective, it got Triple H trending like crazy. MJF came back with a new look, or an old look depending on when you started watching wrestling, and despite MJF's rah-rah promo, he was still MJF, which means he cut a long promo filled with WWE Easter eggs. At least he got a new AEW tattoo. Shit, between MJF's new hair plugs and his Triple H cosplay, I'll bet his other calf tattoo is that Tony Khan bald asshole tweet. Even though MJF returned as a proud AEW soldier, his most memorable lines were about WWE. The Vince McMahon reference, the Ric Flair elbow on an inanimate object, quoting the Iron Sheik, the Triple H impression, even the Shawn Michaels hair plugs. In fact, much like Cody Rhodes smashing a Triple H throne at the first Double or Nothing 5 years ago, this entire pay-per-view was WWE flavored. If I were to take a bite out of Double or Nothing, it would taste like a CM Punk ice cream bar. My guy Raven from the group chat pointed out, even a Jacksonville Jaguars kicker under Tony Khan's watch did a shot-for-shot remake of WWE's Plane Ride from Hell. The kicker's name was Brandon McManus. You cannot make this up. All while AEW is negotiating Becky Lynch as we speak. It's like AEW's new tactic to squeeze more money out of an equally desperate WBD is to make them think they're bidding on WWE. I mean, at least MJF included some AEW references like that new tattoo and mentions of a big old bag of donkey dicks. And at least AEW kept it AEW with a super dangerous main event where motherfuckers suffered real life injuries for the love of professional wrestling with Darby Allin's crazy ass. Thankfully, I happen to love pro wrestling, so I actually very much enjoyed the main event between the Elite and Team AEW. Or at least the parts I was awake for, because it felt like this match started when the sun started to come up. Allow me to give you an idea of some of the biggest moments on what was AEW's biggest show in what is AEW's most important year. Former WWE superstar Mercedes Moné won the TBS title from homegrown babyface Willow Nightingale. After the match, AEW did a callback to Kevin Owens' heel turn on Sami Zayn in NXT. Former WWE superstar Adam Edge Copeland brought former WWE superstar Gangrel back from the dead. Of course, Tony Khan is too scared to stand up for safety, so this match also featured Edge exploding his knees from atop a steel cage like former WWE superstar Randy Savage did in WCW. Former WWE superstar Christian Cage lost to Swerve, thank God. But even with Floyd Mayweather as his guest, Swerve still feels like a transitional champion. I pray to Saint Oprah he survives All In and actually is treated like a main eventer by then. But just being honest, if I held my breath for that to happen, I'd be more lifeless than AEW's live attendance. And bruh, Tony Khan is actually thinking about introducing mixed tag titles. At some point very soon, AEW will have more belts than people in the stands. AEW is desperately trying to change its own narrative, but it's too little too late. Actually, given all the angles they shot on Double or Nothing, it's actually too much too late. AEW is doused in the flame of Uncool, and that's a hard fire to put out. Even a lifelong all-elite bigot Cousin Jerry is sharpening his big boy pencil to take shots at AEW for clicks. Ugh. Now I know how Kung Fu Kenny felt when Kanye West teamed up with the Rap Avengers to battle Drake. Like, thanks, Jerry, but I don't need a bigot on my team to help further my agenda. Cousin Jerry's like Kanye West if you spelled Kanye with 3 Ks. The only reason he's anti-AEW right now is the same reason he was probably anti-America when our president was black. Shouts to Swerve. Jerry's like a reboot of Honey, I Shrunk the Klan. One of Kanye's biggest hits was Gold Digger. One of JD's biggest hits is Gold. I don't care too much for those African Americans.
Well, what was she gonna say? Yeah, miss. What were you gonna say? Yeah, what were you gonna say?
What, you think we're finna pat Cousin Jerry on his balding little skinhead because he's swinging his stubby little arms in Tony Khan's direction? Nobody can reach down that far. Plus, this is a pro-black wrestling channel. Anything anti-black gets these bars. I don't care how much JD Come Lately is stealing from my AEW critiques, which have aged like fine wine and cheese, by the way. Shouts to Going in Raw, but they recently name-dropped the King while asking the question, is online negativity killing AEW? I'm sorry, nigga, what? Going in Raw is a super positive channel, like the Enjoy Wrestling types, so they're not too fond of negativity. Get it how you live. Must be nice. We don't have the privilege to be positive 24/7 because that would require us to just ignore all the bigotry in pro wrestling so we can find our happy place. But for shits and giggles, for feces and kikis, let's just try to be a super positive wrestling channel for a second. Come on, guys. We can do it. Think happy thoughts. Think happy thoughts. Think happy thoughts.
And we met JD. He was nice to us. Yeah. It's very Bill O'Reilly type stuff, you know?
Look at this fucking black motherfucker!
Nope, sorry, can't do it. Not ignoring that. We tried. I actually consider myself a friendo. Probably more of a friendo me after this drops. So I had to slide in on Going in Raw myself, no condom, and remind them that online negativity is everywhere. And it's only in danger of killing things that are seen as uncool. As the culture says, if you don't got no haters, you ain't popping. Thing is, talent is immune to negativity. Shit, you don't think I get online hatred for some of the lines I habitually cross? Yet we're the fastest growing YouTube channel in wrestling because talent is immune to negativity. Pro wrestling bits is undeniable, no matter the topic. Nigga, give me Race for 25,000. Give me The Rock for 50. Give me CM Punk for 150. We even made Dave Meltzer interesting. In fact, to us, hate and love are the exact same thing, as long as you subscribe in Swahili. If AEW goes out of business tomorrow, it won't be because some handsome African with all-world production and next-level comedy talked some shit on a YouTube channel, yet AEW and its insufferable stanbase seems to think we are. Why, thank you. See, now I'm black blushing. Yes, I am the king of all wrestling media. And yes, we are the best thing going in all of pro wrestling. But we're not that influential. You think every time one of these punchlines lands, Tony Khan is out here talking about, I'm melting due to the literal dexterity of these bars from the dopest niggas in all of sports entertainment. When David Zaslav hears pro wrestling bits make these JD Kanye jokes, we're finished. AEW and Tony Khan seem to fear a lot of wrestling media who aren't afraid to call them out on their bullshit. Shouts to Ringside News. But I sure hope it's not because they think this content is killing AEW. Regardless of my stance, I'm actually invested in this product. I watch every show every week. The quote AEW haters are not the problem. If we didn't watch AEW Dynamite would turn into AEW Dark real quick. But if AEW wants somebody to blame for being uncool and suddenly becoming the quiet kid in the high school that is pro wrestling, blame Dave Meltzer. AEW followed the cues of a self-righteous 63-year-old man, and the minute their honeymoon period ended, they went right down the drain. That is not a coincidence. Stuttering Sling Blade is out in these streets trying to be Walter Cronkite in 2024. He's gone so loopy off the Manjaro, he's now lecturing reporters about the nuance of numbers and why nobody should be sharing fast nationals. David, girl, baby girl, save your lectures for the small handful of lifeless tape traders willing to roll around in imaginary stars with you. AEW is weeks away from a new TV deal. Get it how you live. But it won't be a success story like WWE going to Netflix. It'll be more like one of those sad blind dates between two depressed divorcees looking for a spark. Check out this video about the Tiffany Stratton racial episode and subscribe, because everybody can get it, respectfully. Will MJF turn things around for AEW? Is Double or Nothing over yet? I gotta get to sleep. Tell me in the comments.